Hi everybody, it's Joseph Hawes from Planetgg, and this is going to be a funny few minutes. I thought it was about time for me to do a humorous podcast. I was having a wonderful chat with one of my colleagues who's now a very dear friend, and she brought up the comment wide load. So this podcast is called Wide Load, so you can imagine what it's about. So I mentioned to her, now anybody that doesn't know me, I'm very comfortable in my own skin and I'm very comfortable being a courageous woman. And I quite often say to people who look at me and say things like, wow, how do you look so young? My comment is, now remember, I'm going to paint this comment because somewhere in the world, people are making a lot of money when they say, fat don't crack. Now come on, let's think about it. How many wrinkled balloons are out there? None, right? So the minute I go on a crazy diet and I start losing a whole heap of weight, I don't think I'll be getting these comments, George, you look so young. And literally, I kid you not, the other day I thought to myself, right, okay, I'm going to join a gym. Some light exercises, but I'm going to join a gym. So as I was giving the gentleman my card, my bank called me to see if somebody had stolen my identity. It's a little joke. They didn't. However, they should have done. They should have recognized, they should have looked at that transaction and thought, this is something we do not recognize. Oh my days, honestly. But we were talking, my colleague and I, we were talking about just, some humorous things, and please, I need to give an early disclaimer. There is no shame in what I'm about to do. I'm not talking down about myself. I am literally having some fun and letting the world know that I'm not only comfortable in my skin, but I can smile about it and I can laugh about it. And the following comments will be the reason why. So you can either laugh along with me, or if it is very uncomfortable, then please, I'm not asking you to continue listening, but let's stay along for the ride. So I watch these movies, and they're about, a woman walking on her own through a park, and then a van stops. The door slides. Hope you're with me. Don't want to go too fast. I want you to set the scene. And a guy jumps out, and he's got a mask on because he doesn't want me to see his face. And he says in his deepest voice, in a scary way, get in a van. And I say no. And he says, get in a van. And I say no again. And then I would like to see how this person will be able to push all these wonderful curves into that van when I go heavy. And that's when I think I should have caution, heavy load, or caution, wide load. So he knows to get back in his van and go off. The same scenario when I say to people, I'm intentionally this size because nobody's going to push me in the bushes unless they want to fall in with me. Oh my days. But seriously, the joy of being healthy and being courageous does give me an opportunity to laugh lots. I've met so many beautiful women who are curvaceous, and we share time saying things like, if we were on, I would say, planet Mars, we would weigh something like 70, 80 pounds. So I'm not fat. I'm just on the wrong planet. I love it. Honestly, it's brilliant, and when people, say, oh, it's, guys, and relationships, and, how am I going to find any kind of relationship, being this size? Come on, if they think that you're too big for them, then it's only because they don't have the equipment for the job anyway. And you need to excel yourself and go further. And remember, love yourself. Don't forget that. First, love yourself. Because whenever I'm feeling low, or should I say whenever I'm feeling fat, I try not to stress about it. Because I have too many chins that I've got to keep up. Oh my God, remember, you're not big and you're not fat. You're just easier to see. Because, every person thinks like every girl's dream is to find that perfect partner. But please, every girl's dream is to eat without getting bigger. Or probably not, but it's kind of my dream. But no, I have to say that when a little story for you, when I introduced my last partner to my father, I think his poor eyes just was wide and open, because he looked at this poor gentleman who was half my size, and he looked at me and he took this gentleman's hand and said, "Son, I wish you was a little bit bigger." Well, honestly, that's your dad saying that. That's your father saying that, who could potentially be your husband. But it was taken in great fun, because my father always used to say to me, "Gina, I expected you to be no one else. You are the woman you are supposed to be." So, hey, this woman that I'm supposed to be comes with some outer protection at the moment. But no, it's, when you're looking for clothes, I tend to, I used to do something when I lived in London, which was a bit naughty. I used to go into shops that stopped at a lot smaller than I am, just to stress out the assistants. And I shouldn't have done that. And whoever you are, I do apologise, but it was all in the name of humour. Now, I went into a particular one shop that was selling padded bottoms. So, and they were things that ladies put in their underwear to make their bottoms bigger. So I walked into this shop and I picked two. One was like an American tan colour, and the other one was very, very beige. So I walked up and I said to the assistant, "Do you have one in my colour?" Now, this poor assistant fret, because she thought, even if I do find one, it's never going to fit you. And she did not know how to tell me this. And she went, and she was gone for a long time. I would say about probably 10, 20 minutes. And I thought, I need to put this poor girl out of her misery. But fair play to her. She came back with many in her hand. Many. Not the right colour, mind you, but she looked and looked and looked. And I just thought, oh my days, I need to stop doing this. Another thing that I did was I went into a famous lingerie shop, and I was walking around and I was picking up these little bikinis and these little thongs, which when you have a behind like mine, they're not G strings, they're G ropes, right? So I'm picking these things up because I'm thinking, I would lose my underwear. I would not be able to find the back of my underwear if I did something like that. However, let's have some fun. So I'm picking it up. I'm putting it against me. I'm looking at it. I'm noticing that the sales assistant is looking at me, but trying to look away, thinking, please don't call me over. Please don't call me over. So I said, young lady, could you come over here, please? So I was asking her if the colour suited me. And then I said to her, you know what? I really should just try these things on to know whether it suits me. And for the life of her, she didn't know what to say because I had one of the smallest sizes in my hand. She didn't want to offend me. And she just took me to the changing rooms. So I sat in the changing rooms for maybe a minute, maybe 30 seconds. And then I came out and said, no, it clashes with my eyes. I might go for another colour. Oh my days. Honest to God, it's funny on how, when you are comfortable in your own skin, you can laugh. When you are comfortable in your own skin, it's not about laughing, at yourself. It's showing that things like that are not a big deal. I I went on holiday with my partner, and they and this was where people hire scooters, motorcycles for just scooting around the coast. So my partner hired the scooter, paid the guy. He's sitting on it. He tells me to go on the back of the scooter, and the scooter does not want to move. Now, this hire company is on the beach, so there is sand flying everywhere. But this scooter is almost jolting forward, but not moving fast. So my partner's looking to see if there are any stirrups or anything like that he needs to pull up so we can gently roll away. Nothing happens. So because we're almost static and we keep jumping up, I'm saying to him, this jumping and jerking is making me dizzy. I'm going to slide off. As I slide off, the bike careers towards the sea on one wheel with my partner on it. Hilarious. We then realized what the problem was with the scooter. Incredible. Absolutely incredible, honestly. But it was so, well, it was a bit scary because I thought if he doesn't find the brakes, then we are looking to fish him out of the sea. But no panic. He found the brakes and we brought the bike back, and we thought there must be another way to career around the coast, but it won't be this way. But my curves have also, got me, I would say, for people to get to know me a little bit more. Another story, and you can imagine, I have many, but this one again is another belly burster. So I was in the Caribbean and I was on holiday with a wonderful friend, and we decided one evening that we wanted to go out and experience. This hotel had what they called a lazy river. The river meandered around the outskirts of the hotel and the restaurant, And what people used to do in the evening is they used to sit on rubber rings, and the flow of the river used to take them around it. And kids used to go on there too. It's absolutely wonderful. So after cocktails, we were a little bit tiddly, but after cocktails, we decided that we were going to go on a lazy river, and it was a group of us. So we all got our rings. Unfortunately, mine was a little bit tight, but it was still good. So we all got on our rings, and there we are, meandering on the river. Absolutely wonderful. But George got a little bit bored. I thought, is this it? So I said to my friend, I'd like to come out of the river and go back to the bar, and I'll see you guys soon. As I've gone to get out of the river, I have then realized that my rubber ring does not want to leave me. When I say does not want to leave me, it is tight. It is so tight that it hurts. And I thought this pinching feeling was just because the water was getting colder, which is why I actually wanted to come out of the river. But the pinching feeling was because that I'd actually chosen a child's ring. And the actual fact that I had to squeeze myself in it was because I was realistically my bottom was too big for this ring. But I got it in, shoehorned it in. So the scenario. I'm trying to stand with a rubber ring tightly around my behind. My friend is trying to pull it off. It's not moving. I don't necessarily want to draw attention to myself, but this ring needs to leave me. So, in my infinite wisdom, I walk to the bar, through a very, very, I would say busy lounge, where people are absolutely in tears, where they are looking at this 5'9" curvaceous female with a small ring tightly hanging on to her backside. And I go up to the barman and I ask him if he has a cocktail stick that he can put into this ring to deflate this thing. After he's finished, picked himself off the floor, laughing at such a sight, he does this for me, and all I can do is go to my room and hide, because I think, oh my days, I can't believe that's happened to me. Needless to say, the rest of my holiday, I was quite a popular person, being the person that had the rubber ring tight on her backside. I'm going to leave this podcast, because I have so many scenarios, by saying, remember this. I'm the girl who won't get kidnapped. Or maybe if she does, you'll need a truck. There are some negative connotations, like if I was in the movie Taken and my dad said to me, go under the bed, there'd be a problem, because they would know I was there and I wouldn't need to be talking. So there'd be a problem. However, with my heavy weight, I will say this. With this wide load, please be cautious. Because it's friendly, but not easy. And that's how I'm going to leave this podcast, by saying thank you for sharing this little humorous section. And I wish you all very well, and take care. And I hope to speak to you very soon again. Take care. Bye.